What up, Blue Jays? Sean Blue here. I'm here to talk about the Delphi murders because tomorrow will be the fifth anniversary of it happening. So, a little while back, but not really, not really. It was where a 13 and 14-year-old girl, if I'm remembering their ages right, were, kidnapped and murdered by an unknown man. There's footage of him, and you hear his voice talking a little bit down the hill. The full thing, guys, down the hill. But but for the most part, we're not too sure who the heck he is. Like, at least not the average person. Authorities, like cops, detectives, they might know. But for the average citizen, we really don't know. But I'm here to talk to you guys about the mugshots. There's an old mugshot, and then there's a young mugshots. And and they look like completely different people. But I was just watching a show about it where I believe it was one of the mothers that was saying she went online and she saw a person did a thing where they put the both mugshots overlapping each other, where like it's one face over the other, and they're really not that different, believe it or not. And she was saying how interesting it was because let's say she's like 65. She's probably not that old, but like let's say like a 65-year-old is looking at both those mugshots. And they might look at like a 42-year-old person and a 31-year-old person as young people because they're 65. But a 42-year-old and a 31-year-old, they're 11 years apart. But compared to that 65-year-old, both those people are young. And then there's a 19-year-old that could be looking at those mugshots, and he might see a 60-year-old and he might see a 47-year-old and say, two old dudes. And, but a 60-year-old is 13 years older than a 47-year-old. But, but I'm 19. Those are just two old assholes to me. That's what a young person would be thinking. So yeah, that was very interesting what she said. She's so old that she looks at everybody as young, not just a 25-year-old, but a 40-year-old too. And like I said, a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, they would look at like, a 35-year-old and a 47-year-old kind of as the same person, they're just older people. So the mugshot thing was actually good. I thought they were very different too. I just saw that, and I never thought about that before. But yeah, apparently the face is pretty much the same if you overlap it, like the nose, the eyes, the lips. They're all like pretty much in the same location. It's just one's young and one's old. I thought they were a lot different looking too, but and when it comes down to it, they're really not. So it's the authorities kind of like using our minds and how they work. How a old person sees younger people and how a very young person sees older people. So hopefully we can get this creep who did this. And if there's more people like a whole creepy pedophile ring going on, then we'll nail those bastards too. But right now I think we're on the right track.